26th of October, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't see him yet.
Okay.
But
Because because getting the 5 years of information from New Jersey is very difficult because they don't keep that sort of information around. But I managed.
Well,
I managed
you had to prove your.
that I've been driving for 5 years,
Oh wow!
and from New Jersey does not keep information like that. But I managed to get a ton of stuff. I bought a stack of papers about a half an inch thick. And I said, here, this proves I've been driving. And the lady looked through it and accepted it. So I said, okay, good.
Good to see you again. How are you doing? Good to see Barry, Lou. How is everybody? Good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. He's here of Zoom. We are learning. We're in the middle of a Shuvas of Moshe Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Kadosh Levrocha. It'll come up on your screen in a moment. And the Shaila is focusing on something which is relevant to us every Shabbos night before we make Kiddush. We sing Shalom Aleichem. So Rav Moshe cited Rav Chaim Volozhiner, the Talmud, the Muvak of the Vilna Gaon. Rav Moshe cited his father. He himself said that he would not say the stanza of Baruchi L'Sholom Malachei Asharis because of a question as to whether or not we're directing our prayers to the spiritual beings rather than directly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So there were those that did not do that, and now he's in the process of explaining, according to those who do it, their rationale is why they, in fact, can seemingly direct their prayers to the Malachei Asharis. So if we want to pick up, I'll show you. I'll give you some red dots to look at. Maybe I'll start with an arrow, easier. It's toward the bottom of the paragraph, starting with Sharei. You'll see it Shelechein, right? Shelechein. If you see it there, 2 lines from the bottom of that main paragraph in the middle there. Any volunteers to read?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Shelechein al hadvar shenishtalechu. Here comes Meir. Malachim. So it's, and therefore, concerning the matter of the messenger angels, Malachei ha Sangoria, u Malachim ha Mimonim, and the advisory angels and the angels who are appointed the os militse to be intermediaries, yoshar, just intermediary.
Right, very good, just reading. So Rav Moshe is basically saying, when you have malachim which have been given a mission to do something to our benefit, right? They should should advocate for us, or they should have intervene Hashem should be merciful for us. So if we want to direct some prayers to them, that is not a difficulty because that's part of their original mission that HaKadosh Baruch sent them on. So that therefore is not a difficulty because the malachim that come to with us home from shul on Shabbos night, so they're in one with the Malach Tov is definitely there to give us a bracha, and the Malach Ra, if everything's Masuda, everything's properly prepared for Shabbos, so even the Malach Ra becomes a advocate for us. So therefore, if we ask that they should bless us with shalom or chilul shalom, so that that's not a difficulty of asking an intermediate uh, medium to intervene between us and the Kadosh Baruch, because they're on that shlichus anyway. They're on that mission in any event. Okay. Right, let
So
them,
does that includes then borging nafshi? I mean, it includes asking for a blessing?
it depends. It depends when you're asking and from who you're asking the blessing from.
No, I'm saying on Shabbos night, with the three malachim that come home with you,
Right.
they have that mission, so you can ask for a blessing. Is that what we just read?
Yes. Hashem is sending them to you in order that you should have a extra blessing. If again, on the condition that everything's set up and properly prepared for Shabbos, and if that's the case, then Allah Kadosh Baruch Hu sees fit to send these malachim to give you a special bracha because of that.
I don't get the word malitze. I thought we said that you can't have anybody who is an intermediary.
So again, the basic principle that Rav Moshe is teaching us here is that's if you're going to on your own initiative try and appeal to intermediary forces. But if the Kadosh Baruch Hu is already sending a malach, he's sending a spiritual entity on a special mission. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon, so to speak, of that mission, so you're not doing anything that Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do, because Kadosh Baruch Hu is sending you that malach on that mission anyway. You're just hitching a ride on the mission that the malach has been sent upon to do by Kadosh Baruch Hu himself. But if you initiate something, then that's a whole different story. You have no right to initiate something like that.
So how does that relate to what we learned the other day about Yaakov Avinu? The malach was sent for a mission. I'm not even sure what the mission was. What was he trying to do? To scare Yaakov into not being frum? I don't know what the malach was after, but somehow Yaakov did the right thing and he conquered him. So when he asked his name, that was that going along with the whole event?
Well, again, that he asked the malach his name, that was not. I don't see that such a difficulty, as we mentioned yesterday. He was obviously asked. He wasn't asking the malach for his name because he wanted to send a chasna invitation to him some other time. Well, he was asking his name because it was when you know the name of a malach, that means you can call out to the malach and have some type of control over him. So he's asking.
Right.
But you also know what his mission, when you know his name, you know his mission.
Right, exactly, right. And once you know his mission, then you can. Again, I have no concept of these things at all, but I'm just kind of guessing at what the few things I've picked up here and there along the way. Once you know through his name, you know his mission. Once you know his mission, so therefore you can somehow direct him in certain ways to hopefully to your benefit.
It gives you a power over him.
Somewhat of a power. It's spoken. The Ramchal, particularly, others trying to speak about that. There are ways to control the malachim, but you're advised not to get involved with these kind of things. It's not to anybody's benefit to try and do these things.
Above your pay grade, Barry.
Yes, exactly.
Well, okay. There's no way to fool the malach, huh?
No, not a case of fooling it. It's you're fooling yourself. These are things we have no business getting involved with, right?
We see that
Well,
when he asked for the name, the malach didn't give him the name. So doesn't that indicate that he was incorrect, it was improper for him to ask for the name?
Not necessarily. I'm not sure. I don't know that. You have to see the Mefarshim, how they learned Pshat, and why the Malach didn't give him his name. But nevertheless, he still said, "Give me a bracha." That's what I'm more concerned about.
Well, I'm sorry, what
That's
was
really
it?
what we're talking. I'm more concerned about the fact that Yaakov Avinu asked him for a bracha, because that's what we're talking about over here. Right? We're talking about trying to get a bracha from a malach instead of directly from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And Rav Moshe, when he brought down the Ramban, right? He brought the Ramban on that parsha. He really didn't address that point that the malach was forced to give a bracha by Yaakov Avinu. And he didn't touch on that point. That bothers me to some extent. And I haven't yet found any particular commentary that speaks to the point about why and how could Yaakov Avinu ask from the Malach to give him a bracha, because it's no different perhaps than when we're asking the Malachim that are in our house on Shabbos night to give us a bracha.
So the Malach did not give a Yaakov the bracha.
Well, that he did respond to Yaakov Avinu. Now, whether that's considered a bracha or not, that's also going to be a question for the commentaries. You have to look at the commentaries and see the Malach did respond to Yaakov, because Yaakov said, "I'm not going to let you go." He said, "Let me go. I got to go back to, I've got to sing shir to Kadosh Baruch Hu." He said, "I'm not letting you go until you give me a bracha." And so the Malach responded. So I imagine that Pashtus, that was a bracha that Yaakov Avinu demanded from the Malach, and then the Malach, in fact, acquiesced and did give him a bracha. There might be other ways of learning that it wasn't a bracha. Why you have to learn it's not a bracha, that's not a concern to me. But I'm more concerned, what was the kavanah of Yaakov Avinu in asking a bracha from the Malach? And like he wanted to offer a teretz that it was before Matan Torah, so yeah, we can live with that teretz. We can try and find other terutzim as well. But at this point, I haven't found anything that really answers that question, because that's really to the point of what we're asking about here. How can we ourselves on Shabbos night seemingly ask the malachim that are in our houses for brachas from them?
After all, if the malachim come to our house, they are our guests.
Oh yeah.
And they're our guests. I mean, that's the way we have to look. We have these very chashuv guests there temporarily, but they're there. So isn't it possible that because they're our guests and we make a request of them, they have to comply?
Well, we're sending them away soon. They know they're going to be going away. They're not sticking around too long, so.
I know, because I know, because if we take too long with all the singing and everything, the malachim wind up, they're looking at their watches and looking around, they're ready to go. So you have to be careful.
Right. Especially with the family also.
Yeah.
Let's take a look further what Rav Moshe has to say about the subject. Again, I don't have a clear answer to the request of Yaakov Avinu for a bracha from the Malach and how that was permissible in light of what we're saying here. Hopefully we can maybe try and get an answer for that. Let's see. Well,
there's a saying that the exception proves the rule.
Right.
Right. In other words, whenever there's a rule, there can be exceptions, and those exceptions, in a way, define the rule itself.
Right.
So the fact that someone or some more than one person could get a bracha from the malach is not unusual. That there is an exception.
Right. You could say, since Yaakov Avinu had conquered the malach, so to speak, he had the right to demand anything he wanted from the malach, which would make it an exception to the rule, right?
Right. He conquered him.
Yeah. Right. So So again, let's leave it as a question to maybe be clarified further at some other point. And let's see further in Rav Moshe right now. that he continues on in the paragraph. "V'rak zeh muter levakesh." Only this is permissible to request.
Okay, next paragraph, I see. Barak ze kar levakesh. Only this is permissible to request. Sheyeasu ze be'ahava uve sham
B'simcha.
ubesimcha kide ashkachan be'malach Gabriel.
Gabriel. That's based on a Gemara in Pesachim in Kuf Yud Ches, Amud Aleph, Amud Beis. I didn't have a chance to look that Gemara up. Continue on. Maybe I have a chance to look it up now. One
Okay,
second.
so that he made this with love.
That they, the Malachim, should do their mission in regard to us with love and with simcha. It doesn't say, but Rav Moshe he's not addressing the point. We're asking for Berachei L'Shalom. We're asking that they should give us a blessing for Shalom. So Rav Moshe is kind of veering off and saying that we can ask that they should do it, their shlichus, their mission with Ava and Besimcha. I'm guessing that if they're going to give us a bracha for Shalom, that means they're going to be doing their shlichus for us. Ba'ava or b'simcha, but that seems to be what Rav Moshe is indicating over here.
Okay, Kidde Ashkachan, I don't know.
As we find in by Malach Gabriel, as we find by the Malach Gabriel in the Gemara in Pesachim Kuf Yud Ches Amud Aleph and Amud Beis.
Ba'ad Devar Zeh, and concerning this matter, who ma she tiknu, that which he corrected, besalichos, in the slichos uve piyutim and the piyutim. That which he corrected.
Well, tiknu means they established.
That which they established in the slichos and the piyutim.
I mean, that's again going back to the original question: how do we seemingly make reference to the malachim in our slichas? Malachi rachamim, we seem to be making a direct request from the malachim, and when we say these slichas, that they should intervene on our behalf, right? So that's why we saw this custom sefer, we saw based on the Maran in Prague. There was some that actually eliminated that and did not choose to say that particular point because they felt it was getting too close to getting involved with using malachim as intermediaries between the Kadosh Baruch Hu and us, which, as we saw, that's prohibited. You can't. Hashem wants us, and we have to believe that we must, and Hashem wants us to appeal directly to Him without the use of any intermediary.
So he's saying that in those slichos and piyutim, we only should be asking that they do it with love and happiness.
Yeah, that seems to be, again, that seems to be the limud zchus, the reason why they could include these things in the slichos.
The osrin ulai,
meaning the oshrim, those people who prohibit it, meaning the Maral Miprag, the Chasam Sofer, others, those who say it's not to be done, it's prohibited to include any reference to the malachim during our slichos, and even during Shom Aleichem, as we said, of Chaim Volozhiner and others, did not say that stanza.
Ulai savrei digam al ma she biyad hamalachim ein lehit palel lahem levakesh mehen. So these ones who prohibit, perhaps they think that also that by the hand of the angels, we should not pray to them and request from them. We shouldn't pray and request to them by their actions.
Yad hamalachim, that which is within the control of the malachim. That would meaning if they're on a certain mission, so a certain Hakadosh Baruch Hu has given them a certain mission to accomplish. For example, one of the malachim was sent. One was sent to destroy Sodom. Right. So as we mentioned earlier, meaning Avram Avinu, if he understood that this was a malach, and if he understood that he was sent to destroy Sodom, he could have perhaps entered into an exchange with the malach and perhaps convince him not to destroy Sodom, or maybe to if he wanted to do. But because according to those who allow it, and if the malach is already sent on a particular mission, you can now petition and intervene with the malach to do things within the context of the mission Hashem is sending him on. That's according to the ones who say you're allowing it. But those who say it's forbidden, I feel even even which is within the jurisdiction of the angels, you're not supposed to pray to them and ask from them.
But Avram didn't do that. He went to Hashem.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, that must be that's. I mean, we have to learn from that Abraham didn't come on to the Malachim.
That's right, of course. I mean, there's no doubt. I think everyone would agree that it's always much better to go directly to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Why do you want to visit a grave of a tzaddik, as big as a tzaddik might have been? Why do you want to visit his grave sites? Just open up your heart and talk directly to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So you could explain it that maybe when you go to the gravesite of a tzaddik, you have more Yir Shemayim, you have more Kavanah, the general atmosphere is more conducive to your prayers. So using all those accessories to help you pray more directly and more wholeheartedly to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? But that you're not supposed to be asking anything from the dead tzaddik. The tzaddik is dead, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You have to pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's our job, to pray to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now you want to use the whole environment of the tzaddik's kever and as a help for you to enable you to pray better. So okay, there's a place to say that, but actually to direct any prayers to the tzaddik or direct any prayers to the actual angels, that's not for us.
I was learning a Tehillim this morning, and David HaMelech says that if he goes to heaven, he's expecting to find a Kadosh Baruch Hu there, but he says also in that Tehillim, but if he goes to Gehenna, Sheol, he says that he's also expecting to find a Kadosh Baruch Hu there, which means that no one's in charge of Gehenna, that we could appeal to. In other words, it would be Hashem's everywhere, so to speak. So there's no Gehenna is no exception that you could appeal to this Malach Satan, if you're in Gehenna.
Right. No, of course, Kadosh Baruch Hu created it, and you definitely could be accessed if necessary, for sure. Yep. Right. Oh, so let's see. Right. Ulai Sabak, right? The guy, Vaosrim, Ulai, perhaps Sabak, they hold, they're of the opinions, the Gam Mash Bayadim Malachim in Lispalam Lavakish Rem, Ella Lispalu Lavakish Meshem Yisbara, right? Rather, you have to pray and ask directly from a Kaddish Baruch Hu.
Shehu
Right.
Osei Lanu, that he made us. Kol be kashtanu l'tova. All of our requests for good.
Right.
Ve'im hu rotzeh be san gorim me eze ta'am. And if he wants advice,
Advocate. Sonigor is an advocate.
if he wants an advocate for this reason, Ya'amid, he should stand. I don't know what this abbreviation is.
Hashem Yisbarach.
He should stand Hashem.
Hashem Yisbarach should stand.
Hashem Yisbarach should stand.
Mela kishishima tzivusenu senegorium tovim. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch should fulfill it, right? Yamid, HaKadosh Baruch should fulfill our prayers. Memela, consequently, when she shma tfilasenu, when he hears our prayers.
So if he wants an advocate, for this reason, Hashem should fulfill his prayers.
Me'ezer, meaning, ve'im rotzes and b'sinegorim me'ezer tam. And if he wants intermediaries, for whatever reason, Yamid Hashem is Baruch Mamela, Hashem should fulfill, consequently, our prayers when he hears them. From the Sanigorim, the counselor, the good advocate, the good advocates, and Maletzi Yosha, and the righteous intermediaries.
I'm lost. If he wants an intermediary, Hashem should be the intermediary.
No, Hashem should be the one. If he wants an intermediary, HaKadosh Baruch should be the one
Who appoints
to
him.
put our prayers to these intermediaries, right? And therefore fulfill our prayers, even though we're praying to an intermediary. But as you see, it's not an easy sport. It's not an easy concept.
No, I don't get it. Give an example.
Well, when a person's going to be somewhat directing his thoughts to he's by a kever of a tzaddik, goes to the Maras Machpelah, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Adam Rishon, and he's praying, and he's going there because he feels in the Skus Avos that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will listen to his prayers, right? But the eventual destination of his prayers is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he wants to use, in this case, the Avos as the best medium of having his prayers successfully received by the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But he in fact is always really praying directly to a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
I can't hear you.
But he is really praying directly to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. But he's just using the intermediaries as as to enable his prayers to be received properly by a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
What does that mean?
It's I'm not really sure. It's very difficult. That let's see the next paragraph where he's going to clarify this even more. Al Kopanim, he says Al Kopanim, nevertheless.
Al Kopanim, nevertheless, Malachim,
The Kuli Alma.
Lekuliyama, to all opinions.
with main angels, according to all opinions, Asur Levakesh Mehem Shehem Yaasu Devar
Avarnu, for our sake. According to everyone, it's forbidden to ask from any angel that they should do anything for our sake.
Okay, so does that include Barachuni L'Shalom?
And that's a good question. What do you think?
I think yes.
Guess what? That it's usher?
Yeah,
Apparently.
yeah, that it's Usher.
Yeah, but we just learned that Malach is sent for that purpose. That's the point. In other words, that Malach has that mission on Friday night to give us a bracha.
And
So
we're really asking him to fulfill his mission.
right, exactly. So we're not
Okay.
doing, yeah, so we're not asking him to do something he wasn't assigned,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
that's a way of looking at it. There, it could be permissible, right? It's a little
Right.
bit. You have to stretch it a little bit, but that was Rav Moshe's. We call that a limud skus. That was his attempt to justify the custom of those who say it, right?
Right.
If you would ask Rav Moshe himself, should you say it? He may have very well told you, no, you shouldn't really say it. But if you're saying it, you should know what you're doing and why you're permitted to do it.
I'll verify it, but I believe his son says it.
So
Who,
how do we understand that
where did you
the
learn that?
statement which
Rav
says,
Ruvain is my son's grandfather.
Right.
Ah,
So I'll find out what Rav Ruvain's practice is.
he's in America?
Who?
If you look, you take a look.
Ruvain.
I'll show you on the.
Yeah, he's in
if you
Staten
look
Island.
On your screen, it says here, Rav Moshe. Yeah, Rav Moshe. If you would take a look here, yeah, you see, you see the paragraph over here. It says we ata risi besider otzar tfilas. Right there, you see.
Uh-huh.
Now it says here. So the otzar tfilas brings down from Rav Chaim Volozhiner, right? And he said, "V'ulai masha amru kain," right? This is Rav Moshe referring to his father, Adon Mori Rabbeinu Zal. This is Rav Moshe is referring to his father, right?
Okay.
He heard Hayim Yishum Shema Shekain Omer Rav Chaim Volozhiner, that his father heard from what Rav Chaim Volozhiner did, right? V'chein lo haya omer avi adoni zachon v'bracha b'leil Shabbos kodesh k'shomim shalom aleichem. He would not say it as sachozer barachin l'shalom etam zeh. He did not. Rav Moshe himself writes that his father, right? His father did not say that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where does he say? Where does he say begam? So I think he. I
Gam
forget
Kane,
exact-
next line, Gam Kane.
Yeah, Gam Kane.
Going to Olam.
Gam Kane Goni. Well, okay. That now he's going. He's saying that Goni owner did in fact say it. I mean, there people do say it and people don't. But I'm just trying to say where he said about himself. He said over here in the end of the previous paragraph. You see where the red letter is? That so you should try and check up. It apparently you can infer that he probably didn't say it all either, but if you have a chance to check it out, that was very good.
Yeah, I'll talk to my son in your session. When I talk to my son this week, we'll get the information.
Okay.
I wanted him writing.
Yes, sir, boss.
I don't want any of this legends, you know,
No.
Maybe
you know.
you can get an email. You can write an email. That's
Yeah.
No. I want it in writing and notarized. Okay. That's all. Too many stories. You know?
Okay. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to this paragraph again. Here, Lou, start that again. Al kopani b'malachim l'kuliyama.
Al kol panim b'malachim l'kulei alma asur levakesh shehem ya'asu devar avod
Avorenu, for our sakes.
avorenu. So therefore, according to all, it is usher to request from the angels that they do anything for our sake. V'gam lo sheyiv kashu. Is that Hashem Yisbarach?
Hashem Yisbarach. V'gam lo yivikashehu me'Hashem Yisbarach.
And also, we should not request from Hashem avarnu for our sake b'devarim shelo shaychi hamalachim. We should not request from Hashem for our sake something that is not fitting for the angels.
This I don't understand this sentence exactly. Gam lo yikushenu me'Hashem Yisbarach ba'avorenu b'devarim shelo shaychi hamalachim. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what that means. It could mean, we know that Raphael, for example, Raphael is the malach of Refuah, right? So it could be, if you go to a Kadosh Baruch Hu and you say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, please send the malach Raphael to so and so. That might be permissible, right?
Well, we say it in Shemon Esrei. That we have that opportunity.
That what?
When
No, we ask for refuah. We don't ask for an angel to be sent. We ask for refuah. It's a different issue.
Yeah, okay, but that's what we're asking. We're asking Hashem to send a refuah. Now,
Right, and Hashem will do it. It may not necessarily be through an angel. You don't know. I have no idea how that works.
Well, okay. Well, there is a way to know, but we'll talk about that.
Don't let us know, Barry. Don't let us keep it secret. Keep it secret, please.
It's above my pay grade for sure.
So it could be that we shouldn't ask, even for those people who are in the Madrega, that they can ask the Kadosh Baruch Hu to tell a malach to do something for them or for somebody else. But you can't ask Hashem to send a malach, which like Gabriel was supposed to destroy Sodom. So you couldn't ask Hashem to send Gabriel to do to Mirapa the Choida. That's not his
Yeah.
field
It's
grade.
not, it's not his training. He wasn't trained for that.
Exactly.
Okay, but on the okay, but on the when I came to the conclusion from what I had learned so far that it's really questionable even to ask Hashem for something, because we don't know that that's what Hashem wants.
No,
So
Barry,
we-
you can always ask. Hashem will give you what you need. You could ask for anything.
I
He'll
understand,
decide.
yeah. I-
He'll
right,
decide
right,
whether you
right.
need it or
Right.
not.
I understand. So the point is, since what you ask for, whether you're going to get it or not is up to Hashem, and we don't know what we're supposed to have. So the proper thing to do is to say to Hashem, I don't know what I'm supposed to have in this certain situation. So please help me understand my situation. That's all. In other words, if you had a bad business deal and you lost a lot of money, so to go to Hashem and say, please help me replace that money, you don't know. Maybe Hashem doesn't want you to have money.
Exactly.
Wait,
But
so
there's no-
therefore,
There's no
you
reason not
say-
to ask. There's no
Well,
reason
no.
to not ask. To not ask says Hashem. In some ways it shows a lack of emunah in Hashem. If you're afraid
No,
to ask Hashem
no,
for
quite that.
something,
Quite the
You're-
opposite. If you, the bigger moon is to say to Hashem, okay, you took the money away, I accept it. Now, show me what I'm supposed to do now. Show me help me understand this. That's the point. Help me understand what just happened, rather than say, oh, you took away the money. I want the money back. We don't know what Hashem wants.
No, there are prayers which formalized prayers which is stating explicitly, I don't really know what's good for me. I don't know what's good for you in
Right.
Ruchnius. I don't know what's good for you in Gashmius. You Kadosh Baruch Hu know what's best. And so therefore it's better that rather than I ask for anything specific, I'm just asking that you, Kadosh Baruch Hu, in your great wisdom, to deal mercifully with me in all the ways of your divine wisdom, and give me the things that are needed by me according to your divine wisdom, and
Right.
not give me the things which are not needed by me. And there are prayers like that. On the other hand, if a person knows like that he's just broke his shoelace, so and he's on a situation that he needs a shoelace, so it's perfectly permissible to ask Kadosh Baruch Hu for a shoelace. The person realizes he needed something, it's perfectly in order, and it's actually quite recommended and honorable to ask the Kadosh Baruch Hu for things you need, right? Whether or not Hashem will give it to you, because that may not be the best thing for you, even though you need it, but it's still
But
quite
you don't know,
permissible to
you
ask.
don't know you need it, because if your shoelace breaks, or you're leaving the house and your shoelace breaks, and so and you need a shoelace, so you're held up, right? You're delayed, and it turns out that the bus you would have caught got blown up by terrorists. So there's a purpose for Hashem for a broken shoelace.
Right.
If
Barry, let me tell you, this is Maisa Shahaya. Last week, not even last week. Last Wednesday. Okay, I woke up and I got ready to go to shul, and I went to tie my shoe, and the shoelace broke.
Oh.
So I took the time to relace my shoelace. Then the other shoelace broke, and I had to relace it. Both of them broke at the same time. I still need shoelaces. How am I going to go to shul?
Right. Yeah, that's right. But what are you going to do? You're going to ask Hashem to send a malach with a set of shoelaces?
I solved my problem. I relaced my shoes. I got to shul and I bought shoelaces on the way home.
Right, but I mean, so a person knows there's certain things, basics, there's certain things a person needs, right? You might say a person needs these days, the person say you have to have a refrigerator. A person can't live in a regular life without a refrigerator. Otherwise, he's going to be eating at Meal Mart every day and for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So you need a refrigerator. If the refrigerator is what type of refrigerator you're supposed to have, that's another story. But people need shoes, right? People need a toothbrush. So if you don't have a toothbrush, that's something which under normal living conditions, a person should have a toothbrush, and he should have toothpaste as well. So nothing wrong in asking a Kadosh Baruch Hu for a toothpaste and a toothbrush, right? Hashem's
Yeah,
not-
but based on what you're saying, chas v'shalom, lo yaleinu, we should be spared. But if a family member passes away, so based on that idea, so you could go to a Kadosh Baruch Hu and say, please bring this person back to life.
no, there's some things which
Why? So I mean, based on that theory, you can ask for that.
no, again, you're not. You
Because-
also one
because-
of the rules is you're not really supposed to pray for miracles. Right? Under unusual extreme situations, you can pray for a miracle, but in general, you shouldn't pray for miracles. As much as you may need something, right? But the person in general shouldn't pray for miracles.
Yeah, but when you ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do something,
Right.
you're asking him that you may not deserve or you shouldn't have. You're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to change the world for you.
Yeah, and since he
You're
can do
asking-
it, there's no reason you can't ask for it. Okay,
Since
in
what?
fact, to not ask for it shows a lack of emunah. You don't believe Hashem can do it. But if he
No, it's
decides
not
it's
that
not
I-
for you,
no,
he
I
decides
be-
it's not
I
for
be-
you.
I believe Hashem can do it, but I don't know if it's the correct thing to ask for.
Why
So
not?
You ask
Because
for
if
it, and let
Hashem- if
you
Hashem-
ask for it and let Hashem decide whether you're going to get it
Yeah,
or not.
it's Hashem's decision. Whatever he decides, I can ask for anything. If he decides I need it, I'll get it. If he decides I don't need it, I won't get it. End of story. It's not. I don't have a problem with that.
You work for a person, you want a raise. You deserve a raise. You've been here 12 years now. You haven't gotten a raise once. You go to the boss and say, boss, look, I'm a good worker. I've been here 12 years. Maybe it's time for a raise. Why you shouldn't do it because maybe the boss doesn't have the money. You ask for the raise and he'll believe in the boss in his court whether he's going to give you a raise or not.
Well, comparing it to a human is not a fair comparison. Because Hashem's in a different category, so to speak.
No, but you still ask for the raise. You know, you need extra money. 12 years has gone by. Standard of living, cost of living has gone up. No reason why you shouldn't get a raise. It's a reasonable thing to ask for, right? So you ask for a raise.
I think
and you pray for it to a broker that you should get a raise, right? Hashem will know is the best thing for you or not, but that's your obligation is to pray for the things you need for. Again, you always have the knowledge that Hashem will grant you those things which He deems, in truth, what are best for you, and it may not always be what you think is the thing that you need is what you really need. In any event, let's take a little break here, okay?
Right.
And we'll continue on in a few minutes with the Shir and Mr. Ruhr.
Okay.
Okay.
Very
Very
good.
Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Rabbi.
See you soon.